Good evening. Tonight, we are talking about one of the strangest traditions in corporate life. No, not the meeting that could have been an email. We are talking about onboarding. You know the drill. A new employee joins. They get a laptop, 14 passwords, and a welcome email that says, "We are a family." Then comes a marathon of sessions. Understanding our values, our legacy, our vision for the future. By day 3, they know the founder's life story and the cafeteria timings. But can they actually do their job? Not really. For HR, onboarding becomes scheduling and attendance tracking. For managers, it feels like a paid vacation for their team. And for the new hire, it feels like standing on a beach while a tidal wave of information heads their way. So today, we are fixing that with something called the Ice Cube framework. And no, it's not about making onboarding cool. Although we have some ideas about that as well, but that's a different video. We will start with what Ice Cube actually does. Let's clear something up first. Ice Cube is not a fancy template. It's not 3 modules and a quiz. It's a way to plan properly before you build training. It forces you to answer 3 basic questions. What should someone learn? What is that learning about? And how should it be delivered? Simple. Most onboarding skips this and jumps straight to let's list all the topics. And then you get everything dumped in: company history, policies, CRM, sales process, culture, compliance, until someone proudly says, "We have covered everything." That's great. But a buffet also covers everything. You still shouldn't eat pasta, sushi, chicken tikka masala, and a fancily folded napkin in one sitting. Ice Cube stops that chaos. It helps you organize your onboarding so that your people are actually ready, not just overloaded. So let's start. Why is it called Ice Cube? Why the name? Because there are 3 parts, and each part has 3 pieces. First, subject. What kind of learning is it? Information, concept, or expectation? Second, scope. What is it about? The industry, company, or the employee themselves? And the third, style. How do we teach it? Instructor-led, e-learning, or coaching? 3 by 3 by 3. Ice Cubed. Which is a lot better than calling it something like multi-dimensional employee learning architectural model. Though that name would definitely be what AI would suggest. Let's dive into the details now. The first axis, subject. Not all learning is the same. And this is where most programs mess up. There are 3 distinct areas for the subject axis. Information, things you need to know, like product names, systems, org structure. Helpful? Yes. Enough? Not even close. Knowing the product doesn't mean you can sell it. Knowing the org chart doesn't mean you know who actually calls the shots. Though, honestly, figuring that out might require a political science master's. Anyway, the second are concepts, things you need to understand, like how the sales process works, how customers decide, and how pricing works. This is where things start clicking. The third, and a fairly important one, expectations. How you're supposed to behave. What's okay, what's not, what's good, or even acceptable actually looks like. Second axis, scope. What are we talking about? 3 levels. Industry, the outside world. How the market works, competitors, customers. Second, company. How things work here. processes, systems, and structure. And the third axis is employee, your actual job. This is where onboarding usually fails badly. Companies spend hours explaining themselves, very little time explaining the role itself. So the new hire knows everything about the company, except what they are supposed to do on Monday morning. That's the gap. Orientation says, here's who we are. Onboarding should say, here's how you succeed here. Now let's combine subject and scope. You get a 3x3 grid. Every piece of onboarding goes somewhere inside it. And suddenly things become very clear. You can see what's missing, what's overloaded, what actually matters. For example, too much company information, no employee expectations, problem. Product training without customer understanding, problem. Policies explained but no idea what a good client call looks like, big problem. This matrix turns vague complaints into very specific design questions, and that's when onboarding starts becoming useful. And let us now get to the final axis, style. How do people actually learn all of this? There are three options. E-learning, good for extensive, self-paced stuff. Facts, systems, things that pertain to knowledge that the new joiner must have, or for practice that they must do to build up skills. Honestly, this has become the bedrock of onboarding these days. It's cheap, scalable, measurable, and with modern technologies, extremely effective. Next, instructor-led. This is the classroom word. It should be used for discussion, scenarios, and sharing expertise, not for reading slides out aloud like it's a bedtime story. Last one, coaching or on-the-job training. This is where the managers get involved. This is where people try things, get feedback, improve, especially in sales. This is, however, the most expensive style because it takes time from both the person and their manager. And it is trial and error in the real world, and that is always scary. So, all this is good. But all of this would just be a whole lot of preaching without clear instructions on how to apply this. Don't worry, we got you covered. We have created an Ice Cube Toolkit, which is just a fancy name for a complex Excel sheet. In that, we give you tools to decide how much to allocate to which section, how to run communication, and how to get it all in a printable output. You can find the link to the toolkit below. It is free to download. Use, improve upon whatever you want to do with it. And it doesn't require any sign up, trial period, or subscription to a newsletter. You know what free was really supposed to mean? So, wrapping up. What are we hoping you will achieve? At the end of all this, you shouldn't just have a training calendar. You should have clarity. What people need to know, what do they need to understand, what do they actually need to do, what can be learned by themselves, what needs discussion, what must be practiced. Because onboarding isn't about attendance, it's about readiness. A good onboarding program doesn't just welcome people, it prepares them. It doesn't just inform, it equips. And ideally, it involves fewer slides about synergy. Hope you found that useful. Like, share, and subscribe to see more content like this. See you next time.